Hey Royals, welcome or welcome back to my channel. So I'm coming to you with a retie video because I've been busy doing a bunch of things, did a little bit of traveling, and life has been busy. I have a 4-year-old and almost 1-year-old, which is insane. So I have a lot of new growth. And basically this video is just going to be my mom retying the rest of my hair for me. I did everything apart from this section, or from the front, those front pieces there. So my mom offered to help me. And of course I took her up on that offer, because who doesn't want their hair done by someone they trust? So basically I'm just going to be showing you my retie process. I've shown you on my Instagram and also on previous videos earlier on in my in my journey of how I retie the back of my hair. So I just wanted to show you how the retie goes with the front. This is mainly for satisfying purposes. I know watching this back, just seeing the process of a retie is so satisfying for some reason. If you know, you know. If you get it, you get it. So let's just get into it. So basically, I have always done the 4-point rotation in this lock journey. Of course, using the interlocking method, the 4-point rotation, I personally always go in a clockwise direction. That's not for a particular reason. It's just so that I remember which direction is next, and it's always the same. So yeah, comment down below what rotation you use. I've always done a 4-point. Apart from my first lock journey in the very beginning, we did not exactly palm rolling, but just twisting our hair with our fingers. That's how we did our retwist, until we discovered interlocking a bit later on into my lock journey. So now that's all we do. Interlocking is the best way for maintenance for microlocks, in my opinion. Okay, so completely unrelated to this video right now, but someone commented that I should share more personal stories or just fun little anecdotes. So I'm going to tell you a story about an experience I had. So basically, it was a woman of African descent. She was from somewhere in Africa. I'm not sure exactly which country, but I heard some accent from one of the African countries. So basically, I was with my son and I was going into a grocery store. It was like a Costco, like a bulk grocery store. So the freezer sections are obviously very, very big and they're cold. And I was going there. I was a couple of months pregnant with my second son. And so obviously this was in the winter months. I don't remember which month, but we already had to dress warm because basically it was cold outside. So we're wearing our coats, all that stuff, right? So we're in the freezer section in this grocery store, and I see her kind of looking at me, and she comes over and she's like, aren't you gonna like cover up your son? Meanwhile, like, mind you, he's wearing a coat, right? Like, he's wearing a winter coat. And she was like, you need to put up his hood. So she was like, you need to put his hood on. This is where people need to mind their business, because they don't understand. A stranger is not going to understand your child, right? I know my son. Indoors, at that age that he was at the time, he hated wearing his hood. Oh, there's my little Bell. That's Bellamy. You're just seeing glimpses of him. He wanted me to pick him up. Anyway, back to the story. I'm just going to get in there and get out because I don't want any tantrums. I was there by myself. I'm pretty pregnant. I don't even know if she knows my belly because I was wearing a winter coat. But I think I was already in my I was definitely at the end of my second trimester. So I was definitely showing. So basically she comes closer to me and she's with a man too, but the man didn't say anything. He looked a little bit embarrassed, to be honest, but he didn't say anything to me. So she comes over closer to me, like in my personal space, and she's like, "You need to put his hood on." And I was like, "No, he's fine. We're not staying in here long." And then I walked away, and they were kind of lingering in one spot, and I had to get another item that was in a different aisle but still in the freezer section. She walked over to me again for a second time and came even closer into my personal space. Like, she's maybe like 6 inches away from me, and she was like, "Are you gonna put his hood on?" And I was like, "No, he's good." And she started going towards me, like trying to get to my son, and I had to basically put my hand up or like block him with my body and be like, I don't even remember what I said, but I was basically like, "No, what are you doing?" And she looked at me like so shocked that I was standing up to her. Basically, she was shocked that a young woman like me was talking to her in that way and was not just listening to her and putting my son's hood up inside the cold area. And I walked away in so much shock. But also I was happy that, I stood up to her and she backed down, because I would have fought her. Not really, but you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to let someone else obviously touch my child. So anyways, I just wanted to share that story with you. But I had an experience with an older African woman who was basically telling me how to dress my child inside of a grocery store, and I told her to leave me alone, and that's how that happened. And she was staring me down, but luckily when I left, I didn't see her again. I didn't run into the couple again, so it was all good. The husband or the boyfriend, whatever, that was with her, he actually tried to apologize to me after the second interaction. He was like, something like, "Don't be angry," or something kind of passive aggressive. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to share that. And if I have more stories to think of, I will definitely tell them to you guys. Have you guys had any experiences like this with women, older women of color? Let me know. Because since I was young, I've always had weird experiences with older women, at least like 20 plus years my senior, at different points in my life. I've had such weird experiences with them. So with certain ones, obviously. So let me know if you guys can relate to that. In all honesty, I actually have a lot of stories to tell. It's just about what I want to share and what I don't want to share. I feel like there is a fine line. There is a risk of oversharing. But some stories, they really don't have any effect on me because they're really old from when I was younger or whatever the case may be. But I will definitely think of some more stories to tell, because I've experienced, you would not, like, just by looking at me, I feel like you would not think that I experience anything crazy, or that's just how I feel like I come across like more of a chill individual, which I am, but some things that I've experienced in my life, you'd probably be like, what? Like, what is going on? So let me know if you want to hear more stories, but I quickly wanted to talk about postpartum hair loss. I didn't show it in this video, but I did lose a third lock. So I lost a baby lock. I lost another fully grown or whatever, full length lock at the front, and I lost a third one at the closer to my ear on one side. So my mom did restart that by putting in a little braid. So I've gotten a couple of comments and DMs on Instagram about how to deal with postpartum hair loss. And the first thing is not to stress about it, because it is as horrible and strange as it is for us to lose our hair, like us as women who honestly, majority of women love having hair. It's like an extension of our beauty, right? So I know that it sucks to just see our hair basically falling out, but this is only a small period in our life. As postpartum moms, we should not be stressing about something like hair, because our bodies just recently went through a crazy thing called birth. And I personally had a natural birth again with my second son. With my first, I was on Pitocin to speed things up. Okay, sorry, my son just was looking for me. But what was I saying? Postpartum. Yeah. So yeah, anyway, I was just saying that as moms, we go through a lot with our bodies, with our hair, with our skin. So just don't stress about it. There's so much that you've done already. You've brought new life into the world. You're taking care of that life. There's so much that I want to talk about in terms of postpartum. Maybe I'll just add these into voiceovers, because I don't really see the need to like make a whole separate video on it if I can chat about it in the voiceover, right? Yeah, I had a natural birth with my second son, and it was actually at home as well. I was in too much pain to go to the birth center, and that birth was actually really, really difficult and really painful. To me, it was more painful than the first time, and I was on drugs the first time. But maybe my memory of the first one, because it's like further away, it's, my memory is kind of like changing it. I think that as women, we naturally forget the pain, because otherwise, no one would be having more than one child, right? So anyway, what I was saying is that I've gone through crazy changes with my body weight gain, normal. I'm currently on a fitness journey, but it's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves. So don't stress about the hair loss, because it's something that will grow back, obviously. And then I'm, doing some extra measures. I never do high tension, especially at this phase in my life, in my postpartum journey, where the hair is growing back. I want it to all grow back nice and full. So I don't do high tension hairstyles. I cover my hair at night. The way my mom is retightening my hair, well, she never does it too tight, but you know what I mean? Like, if you have a loctician who does it tight, tell her to loosen up a bit. If you're doing it yourself, make sure to pay attention and don't do it too tight, because that's just going to create more tension, and that area is already tender, so it's easier for hair to get pulled out of that area. It's almost like a healing time. Like, how your body heals after you give birth? I feel like it's the same way with those hair follicles. They're just not as resilient during this period of time, and that's okay, because our bodies have done and achieved a lot. So I'm using my Miele Organics rosemary mint oil, and I've been loving it for my edges. Like, my edges have come back, I feel like, really full. I have not been taking any vitamins, so I'm just gonna say that it's because of the oil, and just naturally hair grows back when your hormones balance out. So yeah, now it's switching over to iPhone footage because my SD card on my camera was full. But basically, this is the end. Like, we're done. And I was so thankful to my mom for finishing up the front of my hair. It's just nice to sit there and get your hair done sometimes. As much as I enjoy doing my retie and find it, very therapeutic, it's nice to just have someone you trust do your hair and you don't have to worry about it. So now I'm enjoying a fresh retie and I'm loving it. Fresh retie vibes, fresh retie energy. It's the best feeling ever. So go ahead and follow me on Instagram, because I am back posting content on there. Follow me at Josette Bianca, and I'm going to be curling my hair soon. I don't know how yet, but you got to curl your hair when your hair is super fresh. It just hits really different and I love it. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. In a couple of seconds, I'm going to switch back to my camera. I'm just going to play a little bit of music, and that is the end of the video. But look how good it looks. You can see my little baby hairs there. That's where it's growing back from postpartum. That's okay. I accept it. So yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Say it loud, say it proud. You want it more,